Over the last day or two, I've had a number of people ask me, what's up with Sweet on Pete, what fillies are going to the fair? Why does Amy keep putting her shoes on my dash and making dirt marks all over it? Things of that nature. And so I did want to update everybody. There was a substantial, what is this guy doing? There was a substantial update on Sweet on Pete. Now, I trained Sweet on Pete the other day, and Sweet on Pete trained great. This guy's just trying to get himself smashed up, I guess.
Why?
I don't know what they're doing. There was a substantial update on Sweet on Pete. Now, I trained her, what day is today? Trained her Wednesday, right? Thursday? Trained her Wednesday. She trained fantastic, but I wanted to make sure she was ready to go. So I said, make sure you scope that filly. Well, make sure she's okay. They scoped her and found she had an entrapment. Now, with perfect record this year, I've never had entrapments before. There's 3 this year. With perfect record, he was terrible training. The entrapment was really, to be quite frank, a breath of fresh air to know that something was impeding him from being a better horse. Who was the other horse with the entrapment?
Dragon.
Dragon had an entrapment. He was training terrible. Terrible. Great. We found out why. But not with Pete. Pete actually was training great. I don't know what was going on. I found it so hard to believe. But it's true. So tomorrow morning, Pete will be trimmed up, fixed up. 5 days of light work, which is kind of a kick in the butt. We'll jog her Saturday morning. She'll be snipped. Sunday off. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Train her again slow mile Saturday. What's Saturday? What's the date Saturday? The 2nd of July? We'll have her ready to race. Now, I wanted to go to the Sire Stakes, but unless I can get a real stiff training mile into her, unless the time frame is right, no, they'll have the Sire Stakes on the 10th because the race is on the 2nd. Yeah. 9th or 10th, yeah. If Sweet on Pete is as good as I think, if she is as good as I think, I believe she'll be headed to the Sire Stakes. So the time frame is fine for her. I had a couple of people today say, hey, what's up with Pete? What's up with Pete? We were planning on racing her this week, where a Mordiner was going to be in on Monday, was supposed to be Sweet on Pete, but couldn't, obviously, with the entrapment. So that will be taken care of tomorrow. Now, which horses are headed to the fair on Monday? It's a great question. Eyes at 10, because Amy really wants to race her at the Marion Fair. Eyes at 10 is going to the fair on Monday. So is 1-2 Skip a Few, and I believe the Grey Filly's Monday also, right?
There's 4 on Monday, I was told.
4 on Monday? Okay, I made a mistake. So this one I'm going to tell you. There's 7 horses heading to the Marion Fair. 4 race on one day, 3 race on the other. So rather than getting it right or wrong, I'm just going to tell you all 7 that are heading. Eyes at 10 is heading. 1-2 Skip a Few is heading. Gray is the new red is heading to the fair. Matt's MVP is heading to the fair. Luck of the Dragon is heading to the fair, and You Gotta Believe is the other one, right? Heading to the fair. 7 horses heading to the fair Monday and Tuesday at Marion. We've had a ton of people asking where all the horses are going to fit. And until we get a real good look at the setting in Ohio, before I know that guy's got a good filly, this is a really nice filly, that's a nice colt, until this all gets solidified and hammered out, it's hard for me to say this is a Sire Stake horse, that is a Sire Stake horse. But I'll do my best using what I've seen roughly around us, and then looking at historically what a horse that could trot in this or pace in this, and what that would get them to. I believe the 3 pacing colts we have, probably Buckeye horses to start out with. I know we all wanted Procrastinator to go and win the stake race here next week, the Next Generation, but just not meant to be. So we're going to give him a little lighter landing. We're going to start him off in the Buckeye. Confederate Cruiser's going to start in the Buckeye also. Make no mistake, this Buckeye's going around 50, or the Sire Stake's going around 52 or 53 every week. So before you say, oh, I was hoping you better hope he'd be in where they can win, and not in where we can just see it on the program where they're in a Sire Stakes, because the horses on that program with them, no joke. So the 3 colts, Luck of the Dragon, the other 2 colts will all be racing in the Buckeye. Now on the pacing filly side, we don't have any, so that's pretty easy to figure out. Then we go to the trotting side. The trotting fillies My personal feeling is we have 4 sire stake fillies. I can assure you Of Tom and Purple Aura are going to be racing in the sire stakes. I'm almost 100% certain of that all year long. Hill of Magic is on the fence. I believe she's a sire stake filly. I truly do. Sweet on Pete, I also believe is a sire stake filly. And I believe Eyes of 10 is a sire stake filly, but it's going to take a little while. As I said to Amy, she doesn't like the idea of the fairs and the Buckeyes with her. But at the end of the day, here's the difference. A lot of the horses have to get stronger and move forward and build their confidence. But a horse like Eyes of 10 is used to winning training sets. She's used to being able to beat up on the horses she's with. It's different because she can actually go fast. I've trained her in 2-1, but she gets hitting at herself. Then her confidence starts to wane a little bit. Next thing comes breaks, and then it's lights out for 2021. That's what'll happen for a horse like Eyes of 10. So what we want to do is take her along slowly, very slowly. Fair, Buckeye. I truly believe by the end of the year, you are going to see Eyes of 10 slide up into that top competition. Now, the thing we all know about Ohio is you can race in the Buckeye final, and the Buckeye final and the Sire Stake Consolation, which is a big deal. If we race Eyes of 10 in the last couple of Sire Stakes and she doesn't quite get the point she needs, she can race in the Consolation while racing in the Buckeye final. To do that, though, you have to do well in the Buckeye. So what I would hope, and I envision, a few fairs, a couple of real strong Buckeye starts from her, and then we're well positioned to do dual staking at the end of the season. That's what I would hope to do with Eyes of 10. This will help her, it'll help us, help you, and it'll definitely be what's best for the filly. So that's what I see for Eyes of 10. As I said, Sweet on Pete, trained her, found an entrapment, very rare, very odd because she had been training so good. We'll fix that up. The timeline is still good. The only problem with that timeline is she's going to need one stiff training mile 4 or 5 days out before we figure out where she's going, Sire Stake or Buckeye. Knowing that she has this entrapment, knowing that she's going to be just jogging for 5 days, does it make more sense to maybe aim for the Buckeye first? Quite possibly. But I don't need to tell you, and you don't need to tell me. Sweet on Pete's going to tell us both. So we're going to have to be listening over the next week. 1-2 Skip a Few, beautiful filly, but I think she slides into the Buckeye. I don't think she's a Sire Stake filly right now. Not to mention she's come a long way in the last 6 months. Let's make sure we keep her happy and in check. So we got Sweet on Pete, fence horse, could go either way. Purple Aura and Off Tom or our Sire Stake horse for sure. Eyes of 10, fair Buckeye. Move her gradually along throughout the season and then get her up into that Sire Stake area towards the latter part of the season here in Ohio. As I said, 1-2 Skip a Few will be in the Buckeye, and then Hill of Magic, another horse like Sweet on Pete, could go either way. Whatever way is best for us and her is the way we're going to go. But we could have 4 and upwards of 5 Sire Stake horses before the end of the year. At very worst, I see 2. Now on the Colts side, I think we have 3 Sire Stake horses: Voyage of Ice and Fire, Slim Jimmy, and Prairie Fire. All look like legit powerhouses on the Colts side. You got to believe, is he our only 4th horse? We have 4 Colts. Matt, you got to believe our Sire Stake, our grassroots horses, Buckeye horses. We'll see how the rest of the season pans out. Listen, Matt's MVP is as fast as anything we have, but mentally he's a bit of a midget, and you need to have that eye of the tiger, that drive to be a better horse, and it's just going to take a lot like Eyes of 10, but for very different reasons. Baby steps with Matt's MVP. I think him and You Gotta Believe will hang out very, very well in hopefully the fair and Buckeye scene throughout the summer into the latter part of the year. But unsettled right now, I guess, somewhat, is the scene for the next generation for the Colts. Who would have seen that qualifier coming from Slim Jimmy, 58-4 last quarter and 28-2, and they said he was just buggy riding. So we're going to need to see a stiff training mile from Voyage of Ice and Fire tomorrow. His title, his crown, is on the line for right now, and it will be decided likely tomorrow morning. And make no mistake, Prairie Fire is not far behind them and is a Sire Stake horse. So realistically, right now in my mind, we have 5 Sire Stake horses right now that I see. 2 fillies and Of Tom and Purple Aura are for sure, as I said, in my mind, Sire Stake horses. 3 trotting colts, Voyage of Ice and Fire, Slim Jimmy, and Prairie Fire. All the long toms, by the way, are sire stake horses. And then horses on the fence are Sweet on Pete, Hill of Magic, and I believe, as I said, Eyes of 10 will get there before the end of the season. So that's all the fillies, that's all the colts, that's what's taking place. I wanted to update you on a couple little things. First, the Sweet on Pete entrapment, that'll be fixed tomorrow. Very shocking that was found. Who's heading to the next generation? It will be of Tom and TBA on the trotting colt side. We've had a few people ask to purchase our lot on the pacing colt side. Somebody just messaged me, said, oh, we'll give you 10 grand. I said, no, I want 13. He said, well, why? Well, I don't know, because we put the 10 grand up in February and we carried that debt all the way till now. If we have to, come Monday afternoon, if we haven't sold it for more, we'll sell it for 10. But it'll be first come, first serve, and the first person to give us 13 can have it. I look at it as a supplemental. This is a convenience charge. If anything else, we put the money up. You got to watch your horse train down. You decide you want to race him for $150,000, and you think we're just going to hand it over at face value? Not unless we have to. So that's where now you're up to date with everything that's going on, the political side of it, as far as the pacing lot that we are going to sell. Who's taking on the filly and the colt side of the lots, how all the fillies are going, how I see them, how the colts and the pacers are going, and how I see them. So of the 6, 9, 12, do we have stake horses in Ohio right now? Am I reading that right? We have 4 trotting colts, 5 pacing trotting fillies, 6 trotting fillies is 9. 6, 4, 7, 13. We have 13 on there, right? 3 pacing colts. We're going to the Buckeye. 3 trotting colts that are sire stake horses is 6. 2 Buckeye colts is 8. And 6 trotting fillies is 14. So not too shabby. 5 out of 14, I think, are sire stake horses right now. And 2 or 3 are on their way, I believe, shortly thereafter. So now you're up to date. Now you know what's going on with the stake scene coming up here in Ohio. Should be a great summer. I think we've proven that. Should be a great summer soon. It all starts July 2nd, next Friday. Take care.